This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
Danilo's free. He goes to get wide. Edge of the box. Foley. Yeah! Great goal! What a hit from Oliveira! It's wide! They've only gone and done it again! Forest back in the lead! Rewarded Gibbs White! Oh, and he scores! And the City ground goes ballistic!
Hello and welcome back to Red Side of the Trent, as it's not only Storm Dara causing problems in Manchester, but Nottingham Forest and Andre Onana too, as Forest finally are on the right side of a 3-2 win. A first win at Old Trafford for 30 years, as Milenkovic, Morgan Gibbs-White and Chris Wood grabbed the goals in a historic win. Nuno Espirito is the first Nottingham Forest manager in 114 years to win both his first league games against Man United as well, which is an absolute mental stat to be told. Joining me as ever are Reese Lane and Lee Clark. Reese, how are you first of all? Are you well?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Are you?
Yeah, obviously much better for now. Obviously, football is a funny game because obviously we went Wednesday, lose 3-0, come to the weekend, win 3-2. It's all hunky-dory again. Just first thoughts on the game overall before I get on to Lee.
Yeah, really pleasing. I think if someone would have said to you at the start of this week, you'd have took 3 points from City and United, you'd have snapped your hand off. I think if you'd have said a point at each, you'd have said yes. So to go away there yesterday and win, brilliant. But like I've said on pods previous, Man U are a poor side. I wasn't fearful of them at all yesterday. It's not like you're going to City where you fear they could turn it on, which they did in certain aspects on Wednesday night. I just thought, obviously, and clearly from set pieces was a massive issue. Every corner we had caused them a problem. So, yeah, no surprise, really, that we've got a result for me.
Yeah. Lee, how are you?
Yeah, I mean, beating Man U is just the best thing ever, isn't it? I think growing up in a school where every Tom, Dick and Harry was a Man U fan and used to ridicule me for going to watch Forest, that's the absolute best thing about beating United. So, yeah. Just, I'm surprised. I must admit, I didn't expect us to win. I thought, especially after, the tough run of fixtures we've had and stuff like that, I didn't expect us to win. But yeah, it's amazing what happens when you can strike with the first blow inside 2 minutes. So yeah, really impressed.
Yeah. Sticking with yourself, Lee, the team reverted back to the Ipswich lineup. So your head firmly fell off 2 weeks ago when we lined up with that. So Elliot Anderson, Nico Williams and Callum Hudson-Odoi came back in for Alex Moreno, Nico Dominguez and Anthony Langer. What were your thoughts on there, or did it change a little bit because of Wednesday night?
Well, I was pleased to see Anderson and Gibbs White playing together. I think that we've said that we need to try and get them on the pitch together. So yeah, I don't know. I was a little bit sceptical again about what he was playing, but he did all right. Yeah, I think with the quick turnaround, there was always going to be some changes. I think I said on the last podcast, with Hudson-Odoi not playing any minutes at City, he was always going to start this one, I think. But yeah, it was. I don't know. I think I've probably, after my head fell off the other week and we went and won, I think I'll let Nuno crack on with it now and just kind of see what happens before I lose my head too much.
Yeah, I mean, amazing start, Reese. And I have to say, in the Grosvenor pub, Reese 2.0, me and him and myself, I said, as the corner got given, I said, flash scores. I've already said it's 1-0. And he said, yeah, it's Milenkovic. We haven't obviously looked at our phones or anything, but lo and behold, we're fortune tellers now, because what a bullet header for the big Serbian, you know what I'm going to call him, but, we call him something different in the stands, but yeah.
Yeah, it's been coming, hasn't it? He has gone close with a few. So yeah, it was rather too easy, wasn't it? Just a simple ball into the box, and then it's pretty much a free header, and it's ended up with Lautaro Martinez eating his backside in the end.
I've seen the picture.
Yeah, I mean, he connected with it well. He headed it into an area of the goal where, Onana just stood and watched it. He couldn't do anything, wasn't it? So, yeah, the perfect start. Obviously, because we suffer from Forest PTSD, it was, oh, Jesus, we scored too early again, as we did last season, because, I think United went straight down the other end, and Rasmus Højlund should have scored, shouldn't he, really? So, but yeah, brilliant start. And like I said in my introduction, every corner caused them problems. That is a major issue for them. We probably could have scored from, Murillo had the chance anyway. Hook wide is one I can think of. So yeah, brilliant start for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think Man United kind of grew into it, Lee, and lo and behold, it kind of patient build up, and then they kind of sliced through us a little bit too easily, I thought, for the equaliser. I mean, what did you make of it?
Yeah, it was a bit of a theme of the afternoon, wasn't it? I think I had the first half on the radio, and the thing that Frey and Perch were saying pretty often was that even though Forest were they'd set up in kind of like our possession, they were quite compact. It was still weird because United seemed to have lots of freedom in the middle of the park. So that is, it's not, I don't want to say a concern because we just won a game of football, but just in recent times, it does feel that with this 4-2-3-1 setup, that if a team, can exploit the middle of the pitch, we sometimes look a little bit short. So yeah, that's something for him to kind of combat. I mean, the goal was just one of those. I mean, Sells has done well to save the first one. It just falls straight to his strong foot, doesn't it? So yeah, I was fearing the worst a little bit because I thought that was exactly what we didn't. If we could have got to half time with the fans kind of, booing them off and all that sort of stuff, we'll move on to it. It didn't matter anyway. But yeah, I just expected a bit more from United once they equalised. To be honest, I was a little bit surprised that the kind of the barrage didn't really come. Do you know what? It's not in a smug way, but I did say it, didn't I? They've got a new manager with fresh ideas, but they've got exactly the same players. And I think it showed yesterday. They're not that good, are they? They're struggling. They need some serious quality in that dressing room.
You said this on the last pod, didn't you? Like that different managers, same players, so same mentality. You'd think so. Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, I had a few gripes with the goal because although you've got to blame, you score as a team, you concede as a team. I just think like Man United get it really well right because Fernandes and Garnacho are playing kind of like higher central attacking midfielders behind Højlund, and their movement is really good, but players get dragged out of position so much. And I think like if Yates sticks with Garnacho, I don't think Agate can pass the ball to him. And instead he tries to step out against Agate and it gives him a chance to pass the ball. And then before you know, we're at 6s and 7s for the goal.
He's got to press the ball though. That the first thing to do, you've got the first danger is the ball. So this is why I don't understand, because it's exactly what Dominguez did midweek, and some people were blaming him for it. You've got to press the ball, otherwise, we've seen it at this level. They'll just step it to one side and ping it from 25 yards in the corner. So Yates has got to press the ball, as Dominguez has got to press the ball in midweek for the second. It's just that what happens after that is because Yates presses the ball, which he needs to do, him, Aina and Milenkovic are not sure who to pick up, and then it leaves two of them free. It leaves Garnacho running past Aina, and obviously it leaves Højlund, who just stands there to tap in. So yeah, you've got to press the ball, as that's the first danger, really, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was all opinion, isn't it? So, but yeah, chances afterwards for us. I mean, you'd think like Lee said, Man United would go on and kind of put more pressure on our goal, but I mean, Jota hits the bar from a brilliant header again from another set piece. He also clips one over the bar from a deflection, and he sets up Murillo, like you mentioned, Reece, that hooked it just wide, unfortunately. And then I think just before half time, Reece, I mean, I think we should all talk about this, but Matt Sells with an unbelievable save from Bruno Fernandes's free kick. As much as a tip he might get onto that bar, it takes a deflection, and it's an unbelievable save.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it actually did change much of the direction personally, but obviously you have to credit him because he's got his fingertips to it. So I think it would have still hit the bar, but you obviously can't slate him for that. It was never a bloody free kick in the first place.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't, was it?
I mean, Milenkovic literally hooked his foot round, towed it away from Højlund, who'd backed into him, and towed the ball away. And the ref, as he did several times in the first half, Man United players flopped on the floor, and he just gave a free kick. But it was a great free kick from Bruno, if it would have been interesting if it hadn't have got at Nick in the wall, if it might have gone in. But a warning sign that was. And to be honest, I was just pleased really we got in at half time at 1-1 because, like Lee was saying, there was cutting us open a few times and it kind of needed some tweaks, which Gibbs White said in Sky Sports into that Nuno did at half time. So just perfect to get in at 1-1 and kind of reset and go again second half.
Yeah, I mean, Lee, unbelievable. I mean, we keep starting hot in these halves, especially against Man United, because Morgan Gibbs White might not ever score an easier goal in his life from distance. I mean, I think Shay Given tried to defend Andre Onana on Match of the Day.
He was touching, wasn't he?
Oh, massively. And I think he said it as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he was goalkeepers union, wasn't he? But he was struggling. It was weird. I tell you what, I actually think, I said to someone last night, I actually think Onana played the conditions and not the game. I think he was just expecting the wind and everything. He just didn't do his job. Thankfully for us, because it was just a feeble attempt to try and stop it, wasn't it? It was Sunday League stuff. I mean, he's another one, isn't he? He's not very good, is he? I mean, how many times has he done that since he came in? He's that sort of keeper that will occasionally make. I can't remember who United played the other week, but he made it was Ipswich from Delap. He made an amazing point blank save, didn't he? But then he's capable of doing that. He's such a strange goalkeeper. But yeah, what I would say is I was pleased that Gibbs White got a shot away. I think that's something that in this little. People have been saying that the performances have been quite, patchy of late. Something that we've not done a lot of is try a bit of a shot and test the keeper. Don't buy a ticket, you can't win the raffle, can you? Do that more often. Just get some shots away. There's no prizes for how you score the goals. I think certainly someone like Gibbs White as well, who is trying to improve his numbers in that sense. Yeah, just have a few more shots.
I mean, Onana epitomises like a Sunday League goalkeeper where everyone's like, test the goalkeeper early. And do you know what I mean?
I said it last week.
Absolutely laughable.
I said it last week about Gibbs White shoot. I mean, you can't legislate for that goalkeeping. I mean, it was horrendous, wasn't it? Like Shay Given said, he just put all his weight on one side and he didn't need to do that. We said in the before we started the pod, Adam, if he had stood up, he would have just kicked that away with his foot. It was straight down his throat. So, but we'll take it every day of the week.
I'm going to use a saying that we've now coined, Reese. If Sells had let that in, Christian would have been Christian hot, wouldn't he? Like that's how bad it would have been. I hope Christian's listening this morning. Christian hot, that's a new one for us. Unbelievably afterwards as well. Lee, obviously, Reese. Wood had a chance, and I remember you saying in the chat, like, do you think he was a bit unready for that one? But he more than made up for it afterwards with another unusual goal to concede from a Man United point of view, because he's not. I don't know if Wood's gone for goal or he's just tried to put it back in an area or whatever. But we absolutely do not care. He's become now our top goal scorer of all time, beating Brian Roy's record. And you could say that he's done that in almost 2 seasons, really. I mean, that's an unbelievable return for him. And yeah, take it away with the goal.
Yeah, I mean, this was a period where like United had completely gone. And you've obviously, as if we're an established Premier League team now, which we can kind of argue we are, you've got to smell blood in that period because they were all over the place. It was in that same period, it was Onana passed it out straight to us, and they were just all over the place. And I thought if we can get another year, kind of, in this little period, we're good value for it. But it just starts off really by. It's on the edge of his own box. It's Hudson-Odoi and Yates hassling for the ball. I think in the end it's Yates who toes it away. And then we spring really well. It gets put out to Jota by Elliot Anderson. Gibbs White kind of takes a mantle from Jota after they both kind of turn, and that's your microphone, Adam. And they both kind of turn Martinez inside out. And, the first cross from Gibbs White isn't the best. But again, Elliot Anderson wants it more. We recycle the ball. And then the Gibbs White cross reminded me of the one he put in against us in the Championship for what Billy Sharp, I think, hooked in at Bramall Lane, deep to that back post. And really, Woods just headed it back into an area where it might creep in if you're very, very lucky, or someone's probably going to come in and tap it in. But I'm not sure kind of what Man U were doing really. I think they thought it were going wide, didn't they? And I mean,
What was
Delict's,
Martinez doing? I don't understand.
yeah.
Just clear it. Just
I
clear the
think I
ball.
think he thinks it's going what I mean. Delict could have probably headed it. Martinez, I think, thought it was going wide, and then it's literally nestled in. It was very similar to can you remember the Worrell header against Leicester, where it went through about 3 people, and it's like, how the hell has that got in? But
It very much reminded me of Graben's goal against Blackburn a few seasons ago, where he like looped one in. I think it was.
Yeah,
Great header.
The keeper, it hit the back post, and the keeper tried to kick it off the line. I remember that goal. Just kind of like, how the hell has that gone in? But no, you'll take it every day of the week, won't it? I mean, it was really good for us. Like I just said, that we smelt a bit of blood and we punished them for it. How many times has it been like we haven't took his chance as we didn't the other night, and then we've been punished for it? So to have that 2-goal lead, as much as Forest PTSD again kicked into action, you kind of thought, yeah, here we go. Let's see if we can kind of hold this out, really.
I mean, I'm so pleased for Wood, because when he missed that one in midweek, you're kind of hoping that he doesn't go on the run that he did after the Tottenham miss, where he starts missing chances. I think it kind of takes a goal like that for him to go, oh, do you know what? My luck is I'm still like in this gold purple patch, because headers like that are going in for him.
Yeah, it was one of them. You kind of make your own luck, don't you? He's put it back into an area, and he's got a bit of luck from it. Obviously, like we said, he probably snatched at the chance a few minutes early. You could see on his face he was a bit annoyed with himself that he'd kind of not set himself and he snatched at it, because if he'd made good contact with that first one, he probably would have scored then as well. So, yeah, really pleasing. It puts him on double figures for the season, which is brilliant, and obviously above Brian Roy now for Premier League all-time scorer.
Yeah, 10 goals in 15 games. Come on, go on, the Woody boy. Lee, obviously, as Reece reiterated, Forest PTSD crept in because Manchester United come forward when you kind of think, come on, then that shows what you've got. And I kind of was quite comfortable at that point. But, I mean, it's a great ball from Bruno Fernandes out wide initially, but then for him to have a free shot on goal on the edge of the box is a little bit criminal from our point of view, I'd like to say. But it's a good goal nonetheless. He's finished it well. And Man United set it up to be a bit of a whirlwind at the end there.
Yeah, it was just a good goal. I don't think there was too much blame at anyone's doorstep there. I think, like Reece says, sometimes in those situations in the Prem, players of Fernandez's ilk, as much as it pains me to say, because he's a bit of he's not a nice bloke. He doesn't come across as a nice bloke on a football pitch. But yeah, he has got quality, and from that's why I was a little bit surprised they took him off. To be honest, I think that there was a number of situations towards the end when it fell to players on the edge of the box, and Fernandez had already shown what he can do with them. So yeah, I think we got quite lucky in that sense that they decided to hook Fernandez as well, because had he stayed on the pitch, he would have been more than capable of potentially doing that again and equalising for them. But yeah, it was just a good goal. I don't think there was there's no blame from me for anyone there really.
There's blame for me, but I'm not going to get into it. There's no point, because we've won a game of football, and it's just I'd rather just not, because people get at me in the comments like.
It's just disappointing to see Fernandes in such space in it, because he is United's best player. I mean, I thought him being took off was utterly bizarre. And to be honest, it helped us win the game, because the subs they brought on then, Xerxes and Man, offered absolutely nothing. It took
Rashford did nothing as well.
It took all momentum out of them. I know there was that stoppage, wasn't they, which was a good thing for us as well with the referees' communications, but the subs just took every little bit of momentum out of them for me. So yeah, it was lovely. Thank you, Ruben.
His subs actually reminded me of what Nuno was doing a little bit when he first came, where we said on the podcast where he was kind of just throwing players on just to get the minutes and just have a look at them.
Yeah, that's
and
probably
it was
true.
detrimental to the game plan, I thought, yesterday for United.
That is probably true.
I mean, it summed it up for Man United, because what Onana was doing in injury time with that free kick was absolutely calamitous. And then fair play to the referee, because I thought he was fairly inconsistent, but he was inconsistent for both sides. He wasn't adding the time on for Onana trying to gain yards, and I really commend him for that, because it'd have been so easy for him to kind of just go, well, I'm at Man United, I'll let him get away with it, and he didn't. And Onana, it was like, what was he bleeding doing? And then he overhit the free kick, and it was like, thank you very much, Andre. Cheers for coming.
Well, Sky said it took about 40 seconds for that free kick to be took, so that was great for us. And I mean, at one point he spun it into our half, and it was about 10 yards in there. The ref was like,
I know.
Ref
Do you
was
know,
like,
the only-
which was
the only
good
thing I did-
refereeing.
The only thing I really didn't understand, do you know after like the second or third time, why didn't you just book him?
But
that was the only gripe for me. I'm being really picky there, but he was stood there like that, wasn't he? The ref, he stood there like, I'm telling you where it needs to go.
I guess the good thing is he's not added the time on. He's like, you're wasting the time. If you want to carry on wasting time, it's your time. Forest are the ones ahead. So, I mean, there was a bit.
Strange.
It was. I mean, just one chance to mention, wasn't it, at the end of Martinez volley? That was, I mean, he connected with that sweet. If he'd have been a yard lower, that would have been interesting. It was obviously disappointing we'd left him unmarked at the end, but thankfully hit it a bit too well, didn't he? It flew over.
Yeah, he caught it really well.
Yeah, he did really well there, to be fair.
I mean, but yeah, fantastic win. Just absolutely brilliant. I did want to ask you both about Nuno's post-match, which I actually just watched this morning. He got told by Colin Frey that he's the first manager in history to have beaten Liverpool and Man United in a season, and his response was, "We have to be better," and our mindset should have been, we needed to go for a fourth goal at 3-2 or even at 4-1, and he says he wanted to carry more threat on the counter attack, and I mean that just goes to show what. Steve Cooper changed our mindset to we need to believe a little bit more. And Nuno's even gone a little bit further of going, we need to be better even more so, even though he's kind of breaking the trend and he's breaking records already for us. And we're back to fifth in the table on 25 points before Christmas. It's an unbelievable achievement, isn't it, Lee?
Yeah, winner's mentality, that is. I love that. I think that's brilliant that he said that. I mean, part of it is probably a little bit media trained. He's not going to come out and say, "Oh yeah, brilliant, we've cracked it." He's going to always want to focus on the next milestone, if you like. But yeah, I like that. I think since he came in, I think Nuno's he gets a lot of bad press for his pressers, doesn't he? Because he's not. I don't think he particularly likes doing them. Whereas I got the impression that Cooper, just as an example, because he was our previous manager, I think he liked the idea of meeting all the journalists and having a chat. Whereas I can imagine that Nuno is turns up on time, goes when the questions have been asked, nothing else said, sort of thing. I don't know. Just last year when we weren't doing very well, lots of people kind of bashed him for his demeanour in pressers. But I think in reality, it's all about the players for him. It's not about him. He's just focused on doing his job, doing the bits and bobs in training in the week, and then it's over to the players. And I like it. I think it's good.
I mean, Reece, anything to add?
Yeah, I think the reports last year he'd come a bit disillusioned, Nuno, towards the end. Probably come off in the press conferences where he seemed a little bit, monotone, a bit downbeat. I've obviously seen the one on Sky yesterday, and he looked a lot more enthusiastic. I know that's easy because he just beat Man United away, but yeah, he has come out his shell a lot more. I think that's definitely helped with the pre-season, and obviously all the problems from last season have kind of gone. But yeah, he is right. You can't sit in a low block for 15 minutes at Old Trafford and not have any app, or like there was times when we was just kicking it clear. When you obviously bring in the likes of Alanga, etc., Taiwan to the pitch, you've got to get us up the pitch. So he is right in that sense. He can't. As well, he can't turn around and think, like Lisa said, "Oh, we've made it because we beat Man U and Liverpool away." It's just, as good as these wins are, they're just 2 games and moments in time. So, it doesn't mean anything if we go at home to Villa last week and get smashed. So, it's just one game at a time, and we'll just keep carrying on. But like I said now for a few weeks on this pod, relegation fears are done. We'll still be in this league next season, and you just got to take one game at a time, see how high up we can finish, really.
Just to jump in as well before we move on, I mean, slightly tongue-in-cheek this, but we're 5th, United are 14th, aren't they? I mean, you look at that game. If you look at 13th, if you look at that game in the grand scheme of things, Nuno's not going to get carried away. United are mid-table fodder.
United,
I
said it. But it's the truth that United are a poor side. Like,
yeah, they are. I've said it. Yeah.
As a kid, United, as much as obviously everyone supported them because it was the best team, but as like a footballing purist, you look at some of the players they had, and there was world-class players. How many Manchester United players now get into the top teams in England? None of them. Because the best player is Bruno Fernandes, and he ain't better than Odegaard. He ain't better than De Bruyne on his day. He probably isn't going to get into the Liverpool midfield, is he, with how they're doing at the minute? So, I mean, imagine saying that in United's pomp. They're just not a very good side anymore.
No, I mean, just to bring it to some sort of seriousness as well, what I've just said is a little bit tongue-in-cheek. But what I mean is I'm not daring to dream of Europe yet. I think it's just nice to be winning more games than we're losing and, playing a decent sort of football and getting some sort of satisfaction from your weekends because you've watched your team win more often than not. But I think looking at what Nuno's probably said is if Forest are going to finish in Europe this season, Man United is a winnable game. There's no two ways around that. The teams that want to be finishing in that top 7 for Europe, possibly top 8, depending on what happens. Top 8, yeah. So if you want to be them teams that want to be finishing in that top 8, that clutch of teams between 9th and 16th are the games that you've got to be winning. So,
because it's going to 8 as well. This is where I think I'm kind of daring to dream because you've got to. This is part of being a football fan, but there'll be fans of other clubs like your Fulhams, like your Brentfords, like your Bournemouths, who are all playing really well at the minute. And I know there'll be Forest fans who listen to this pod and will scorn upon them type of clubs because historically they're smaller clubs than us, but they're all fighting. And then obviously you've got your likes of your Newcastle and Villas who finished in Europe in the last few seasons. So it's good. It's really tight in the middle of that table. We've just got to keep winning games and see where it takes us, really. The immediate threat, which obviously this season was just getting away from the bottom 3, it's pretty much over, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was 3 points separating us and United until yesterday's game had finished, obviously. So we're 6 points beyond them. And me and my mates were saying we only got I think it was 32 points in the end last season and we survived. So
36 technically.
Yeah. So we're not far off that total already, and I mean that's a tremendous turnaround, and it gives us a nice breather at least, especially during this pod when it was a bit of a slog at times last season, like reporting on losses and bleeding referees every week. So yeah, it's lovely. But we're going to get into everyone's slept on it thoughts.
Red side of the Trent. Slept on it thoughts.
I'm going to get on to Christian's first. So that one was special. We've all encountered our fair share of plastic tourist United fans who couldn't tell you where Manchester was on a map, but would gleefully give it the big un to you when it came to football. Suspect a fair few of those are a bit quiet today. Our setup against the supposedly better sides is far from a finished product, and we rode our luck at times. But how nice is it to come out of a 3-2 game as winners? Brilliant shift from everyone, but a special shout out to Aina, Milenkovic, England's Morgan Gibbs-White, Sells, Anderson and Murillo. What an exceptional season we're having, and it's thanks to performances like the ones they gave us yesterday. Forest are magic. And then on to everyone else's. So we got B. Where do I start? Belter of an away end today. Anderson is mint. Win-backs were both immense. Give Aina his Ribena. Sells proving his worth again. Love the direct play of the wingers. Callum Hudson-Odoi improved as the game went on. Centre-backs are more solid than a brick wall. Common your Reds. Adrian, if we could play in blue every week, where would we be? Not ready for Europe yet, but building up to it nicely. Potent striker needed to help take the burden from Woody. You Reds. Ian, thought Sells was absolutely superb. Man of the match for me today. I'm not debatable. We won. That is all. Honestly, don't care about the performance. 15-year-old me has waited all these years to see his dick on Liverpool and United away, and I've seen both in 3 months. God bless you, Nottingham Forest Football Club. The football. Yeah, okay. Martin Fretwell, and what another away day fully deserved. Nuno masterclass first 20 of second. First 20 of second half totally outplayed them, then back to our solid best. Danny Tring, since a kid I've had to put up with quote unquote poo from Man U and Liverpool fans to quote Farage, "You're not laughing now, are you? Aina is the best right back in the league. Still poor in midfield, and Aina has been added to my Christmas card list." Like that, Danny. Capanosity, first time ever Forest win away at Anfield and Old Trafford in the same season. Nice to finally see us take advantage of a team in trouble. Transition, supremely efficient with our 3 shots on target. Yeah, agreed. Sarah, one of the best away days since 1994. Chrissy Wood again. Abdoon on the moon. Never seen a more one-sided ref in all of my days. Been it. We deserved to win and could have been by a bigger margin of victory. Nuno used the subs brilliantly at the right time. Ola Aina was my man of the match. Carl Booth, no need to dissect the performance. It's a win at Old Trafford. You take it however it comes. United's defending was calamitous and we took full advantage. Even at 3-2, we shut the game down. Previous word has just succumbed. The progress is incredible. Premier Elliott found it weird that United became Charity FC for once, and we finally got that 3-2 win against any team that we've been craving. Today's fact is a snake breeder in New York is selling designer pythons with smiley face emojis on its skin for £6,000. And if you do look at the picture, they don't look a bit like potato smileys, to be honest, Elliot. So I do thank you for that. Behind enemy lines, good start, sloppy next 30 and goal to concede. Started really well second half, got our goals at 70. I was worried, but we went back to what we did well and seen it out, minus a Bruno goal and a soft ref. Loved Onana burning a minute of stoppage time for us too. Snowboard Pete, nothing much to say other than Milenkovic deserved that goal and we beat Man U on the right end of a 3-2. That was all for Man U fans that was for all the Man U fans in Nottingham when we grew up the Forest. Yummy Bear, simple, no point over analysing the game, just enjoy the win. But we finally came out and he's attached a picture of Brian Clough with the quote of hope nobody's stupid enough to write us off. Forest fan family, back 4 awesome again. Great for Milenkovic to get his first goal. Please for Morgan's White too. Ola and Nico, 10 out of 10. Those of us who were at school in the 90s with annoying glory hunting Liverpool and Man U fans have waited a long time for this moment. What a season this is turning out to be. And then last of all, no means least, it's NFFC stay positive. At times it was nervy, scruffy game, but on the whole, we were always competitive, or at least had the desire to stay in the game when Man U dominated the ball. Critically, we were efficient with our chances, although the opportunity to score was there. A fine result. Actually, we do have one more, a DM, because I always forget about Patrick. He always DMs us, actually. After 65 minutes, it was relentless pressure, unfortunately. They are powder puff at the moment, and it was so nervy, but not panic stations nervy. We need a central defensive midfielder as soon as. So, yeah, decent. Thank you very much for getting in touch. Thank you, everyone that has joined us on the show this morning with 56 people at the moment. So thank you very much. And hello to everyone there. Player performances then, guys. Lee, I'm going to start with yourself. I'm going to give you Morgan Gibbs-White, who's obviously been a bit of a topic of late, a very patchy run of form, I'd say, since he's come back from injury. But I mean, people will look at goal and assist added to his stat sheet and think he had a brilliant game. So, but I think he was improved. I think there's still stuff to improve as well. But what did you make of it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he did improve. I think he was sometimes a little bit wasteful in possession, but what I would say is I think Gibbs-White's game, he's very much like a winger in the sense that because he's always trying the killer pass and the probing balls, more often, well, not more often than not, but sometimes, occasionally, it won't come off for him. So I think I've said before that he needs to play. When he's fit, he plays for me. There's a lot of discussion over whether his place is at risk because obviously we've got Anderson now who can play in the same position. But like I said on the last podcast, the challenge for Nuno is to try and get both of them on the pitch at the same time and not one or the other. When you've got two players that good, the challenge is to get them both playing together rather than one or the other. But yeah, goal and assist, he'll be happy with that. I think the thing I like about Gibbs-White is he's under no illusions that his numbers perhaps could be better. And yeah, he's still a young player. He's striving to get those numbers up. So yeah, he'll take that. He supported Man U as a kid as well, didn't he? So he's a bit of a knack of scoring against United, doesn't he?
Yeah, not too bad anyway.
Another glory seeker.
not so much glory nowadays. Reece, I'm going to give you Nico Williams first of all.
Yeah, I thought he did well, Nico. I think he's done pretty well in both games he's come in, and that's kind of what you want really from players who are filling in. they're kind of ready to go and they come in and do the job. I didn't think. I mean, Diallo kind of playing a right wing back, wasn't he? So, and he's, probably one of their most informed players at the minute, United. So I thought he dealt with him on the whole pretty well. I did enjoy in the last minute when I think he hacked Diallo down and then turned around to the ref and went, "How?" when it was most obvious booking you'd see. But no, I thought he did well. I thought he did well, Nico, and it's something we've kind of mentioned on this pod. He's going to have 18 months left, isn't he, in January? So it's kind of like, really, we need to make a decision what to do with him. Is he part of the long-term future for the squad, or is he going to be someone we might look at, cashing in for and getting, some profit for PSR circumstances? So, yeah, but I thought he did well yesterday. I mean, I'm not sure what happened to Moreno. I'm guessing he's got a knock of some sort because he's not in the squad at all. But yeah, I thought Nico did pretty well yesterday.
Yeah, and interesting with Nico Williams because I think we've been linked to a left back loosely already for January, and I forgot his name actually. He plays for Anderlecht.
Yeah, and Musa and I think his name was.
That was it. Yes, yeah, you're right. So yeah, and it's interesting. What I do like when Nico and Aina play is when they obviously end up being at opposite fullbacks at one point. It's quite funny. Like you normally get your wingers to swap, or if swapping fullbacks and confusing oppositions in that sense because both can play both sides. So that's great. Lee, I've got to talk about the record goal scorer now because Chris Wood is having an absolute lovely time in Nottingham Forest blue and red.
Yeah. Yeah, I told everyone to give him a chance, didn't I? It's probably the only thing
this season.
I mean, I didn't expect him to get this amount of goals. I'll be totally honest. I thought he'd do a job for us. But yeah, I mean, another player he's a credit to his profession. Basically, he's a model pro, isn't he? I think if you look at him now, and certainly last season, to be fair, from when he first signed, where he didn't look fit, you could tell he'd not played much football. It would have been easy for him to think, well, I'm getting towards the twilight of my career. I'll pick up this nice big wage from a Premier League club and go through emotions a bit. But he's worked hard. He's got himself fit. He doesn't look like a 33-year-old, does he? I don't feel like he plays like a 33-year-old. I think he plays like someone who's, approaching 30. I think he's still in decent nick. I think when Wood plays, you've always got the sentiment that you need to kind of play to his strengths, so it kind of restricts Nuno and what he wants to do. You've got to get him the ball in the right areas, which we did yesterday. So yeah, I think he's well on course for. Well, he's got double figures, hasn't he? He's well on course for last year's total. What was it, 14 in the Prem last year?
Yeah.
So yeah, long way to continue. I just think while he's the main man, we've got to back him. I think, like we saw Wednesday, we've got to appreciate that he will occasionally fluff his lines and miss chances. But like we've said about other players before, that's why Forest picked him up. That's why he's not at a top six club. Well, that's weird, isn't it? Because we are a top six club at the moment. But you know what I mean. One of the stereotypical top six. But yeah, he's fair play to him. I think he's proved pretty much everyone wrong. Everyone except me, that is, because I said he'd come good.
You didn't believe in him enough. I think he's 21. I think he's at the 100 club now. So if we obviously was to give him a couple more seasons after this season, you'd probably think he might get that with us, which would be.
And we do need to sort that out, because you've said it before, Reece. I think we don't want to become that club that lets the better performing players go without a transfer fee. And like Reece said a couple of weeks ago, other clubs will be looking at Wood now, thinking, "Oh, he's going to be free in the summer."
Well, we've got about 3.5 weeks, haven't we, before the clubs on the continent, etc., can start approaching him and Aina. So it's something we need to get sorted.
I think there was a report in the Athletic that Aina's getting he's already been offered it, and there's already talks going on. I suspect there's something similar for Wood to going on, but I don't know if either of you saw actually as well that so there's two things. So one. He's the second player with Alan Shearer now to be top scorer in the Premier League for two different teams. So Forest and Burnley Wood's top scorer for, and I think Shearer would be Blackburn and Newcastle, I'd have thought. That's pretty good. He's in good company there. But I don't know if you saw what Forest gave him for his birthday with the mug, with someone did the Photoshop with his face on Robin Hood. If either of you've seen that,
didn't
I've
see
not
that.
he
seen
got
it.
that as
I
a
knew it was
gift,
his,
which I thought is sensational.
I knew it was his birthday a couple of days ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, they gave him that. Yeah, so which is quite funny, and he took it in good spirit, which is good. So Reece, your second player is Elliot Anderson, who I thought was not the best in possession, but he was just everywhere. It seemed just ground duels must be like sky high for him.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I thought first half as a team was a bit all over the place, especially in midfield. But second half, I thought Anderson was excellent. The goals. He started the one for the third. I think it was the third one when he's
It was the third.
pinged
He
it
made the
out to
pass himself.
Jota, and then he's ended up tackling their man on the edge of their box and winning the ball back for Gibbs White to cross it in. So he's just really tenacious, isn't he? What I do like about Anderson, and you need this at Premier League level, is you need players who can keep the ball in tight situations and just dribble and just keep the ball. We saw it the other night, Adam. Jack Grealish is the absolute master of it. You just cannot get the ball off him, and you need players like that. And that's what kind of Anderson does. He's really close control. It's like it's glued to his foot, isn't he? So, he's still only 21, I think, isn't he? I listened to Simon Jordan on his podcast, did an interview with Eddie Howe. I listened to it on Friday on way back from work, and he was really annoyed they got rid of Anderson. He said, there's nothing we could do about it because of the PSR, but he said, we didn't want to get rid of him or Kuba Minter. And then he went on to say about Anderson that because obviously Newcastle had grown him through their academy, put a lot of investment into him. It was really disappointing to see him go. So I think we've got a snip there at 15 million. I think Marinakis used his business acumen, didn't he, to get that deal done. And like I said, the lad's 21. He's just going to keep improving, isn't he? So, yeah, brilliant. Just they're the type of players. I mean, you're not going to get them all the time because you're not going to get people backed up against the wall with financial issues. But if you can nick players like that for, 50 million's nothing, is it really? And obviously ship out a goalkeeper who's absolutely useless for us in the process. You take it every day of the week. I really like Elliot Anderson. Really, really technically gifted player.
Yeah, well, third assist. I mean, unbelievable delivery from a set piece as well.
Yeah.
So right on the money.
Yeah.
Right on the money. Lee, did you have anything to add about Elliot Anderson there? I saw you.
No, I was just going to say, actually, I think that's a really sad indictment of PSR. PSR shouldn't be designed to ensure that clubs are stripped of the players that they've nurtured through their academy. I think that is the one. It was just again, I'm digressing a bit from the actual topic, but I just think that's a real. Obviously, we experienced it with Johnson a little bit, didn't we? But the fact that Newcastle had to sell one of their own products is a real. It just proves that it's not fit for purpose. The whole PSR thing for me.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we wouldn't have sold Johnson, would we? Let's be honest. We didn't. I don't think he wanted to leave, did he? At all. I think he was just. It was kind of like you got to do what's best for your club. As much as I'm kind of glad to see rid of his dad, but that's another discussion.
I mean, he's having Johnson. To be fair to him, having a great season at Tottenham this year. He's doing really well. So he's settled in. So it's a clash at the top next week, guys. For 5th v 6th, Forest v Villa, a classic, as I like to call it, because both teams I always feel are very similar in terms of history and fan base. I'm really, really looking forward to it. Reece, what do you expect from the game as a brief overview?
Probably a little bit different to what I might have thought a couple of weeks ago, where I kind of would have fancied a little bit more because they were struggling for form, weren't they, Villa? But I'm just looking at their result. I can't believe they're actually on the same points as us, really. Just shows you how
we're on
tight
goal
it is,
difference above them.
So they've won they've won the last two, which is against Brentford, who absolutely incredible at home, but are absolutely dire away. I think they've only got 1 point from 7 games, Brentford away, and then they've got, I think it's like
22 points
from 24 at home, which is mad. And then they've literally nicked past Southampton yesterday, who are also poor. So I'm not going to read too much into it. The good thing is they're away in Europe this week. They're away at RB Leipzig.
Tough game.
So, interesting game for them. So there's no really looking at all that, no really doubt in my mind that we can go out and beat them. You know, they are a good side. You know, obviously because they finished in the Champions League spots last season, but you know, we beat them last season when we wasn't very good, was we? So yeah, there's no doubt at home. You know, under the lights, I think Sky Sports are there, aren't they? No doubt. Well, I'm not going to say winnable game because, like Elliot says, they're all winnable, but it's a game where I'm looking at and thinking, yeah, I've actually quietly fancies to win that.
Yeah, Lee.
Yeah, I think Villa are pretty similar to us, to be fair, in terms of the squad. Obviously, they've had a really good season last season. They played in the Champions League. But in terms of their personnel, they've probably got 3 or 4 really good quality players. So you look at us like with Murillo and Gibbs-White and Wood, potentially, I suppose you've got to throw into that. They've obviously got Watkins, who you're looking at as a one that you've got to watch and keep at close quarters.
They've dropped him, haven't they, at the minute for Duran, I think.
Yeah, he did get a job yesterday, didn't he, actually? But yeah, I agree with everything that Reece has just said. I think it is a game that, again, not to annoy Elliot and use the term winnable, because we can win them all, but it is a game at home that you think, you know, we can, if we do what we know we're good at and pick the right team, and I'm sure Nuno will do that, then yeah, why not? I'm sure we can win. They were in a bit of a, not a rut because they're still 6th in the league, aren't they? But a few weeks ago, I think I would have felt a little bit more confident. But yeah, I think I don't know. This season just feels different. I feel like we can go into every game. And I said to someone yesterday that we're doing well, and it's good that we're not going into games looking at the bottom 3. But it's also good going into a game knowing that you're going to watch your team have at least a couple of chances to, you know, we're going to have a go. Whereas, sadly, under the former manager, towards the end of sort of 12 months ago, we weren't going into games doing that. We were going into games shutting up shop and hoping to nick a point. So, yeah, I'm very pleased that aspect has changed. And let's see what we can do against Villa.
I'm just looking at like the next 4, what takes us up obviously to the halfway point and takes us up into the new year. And you look at the next 2 home games and think, obviously, Villa, you know, obviously got Europe midweek. I know they've won back-to-back games, but against sides that probably expect to beat at home. I mean, Tottenham are just, Jesus. I mean, some side they are, aren't they? Yeah, literally so Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, there was like Alanga, wasn't there, on Wednesday night? The probably the tougher 2, the next 4 for me are probably the away games, because Brentford are absolutely flying at home. I watched Match of the Day last night. They can score goals at will. And I know people might, again, pour scorn on this, but Everton away, Sean Dyche kind of gets them up, doesn't he, for us? So, yeah, we'll kind of see. But, there's no doubt, I think. I mean, I've just looked at the odds for next Saturday, and literally bookies have got us at 13-8 and Villa at 8-5. So, vastly similar in terms of probability. So, we'll see come next Saturday evening.
I think Villa are doing that same thing that Newcastle had, and I'm if I can get a Villa fan on, I'm sure they'll explain it a little bit better. But I think, Joe, because they're going in Champions League and it's like that intensity, and they've not been in it for so long, I think it is an adjustment period for the squad and the manager. Even though I know Unai Emery is vastly experienced at European level, but it's just, I think it's just trying to get that balance of being competitive in the Premier League and being competitive in the Champions League, and obviously, I know Emery's managed in Spain and stuff, but I just always feel that Villa are playing a team every week that's going to be competitive and give them a game, obviously, compared to what Unai Emery was getting at Sevilla and Villarreal, respectively. And no offense to those teams, but yeah, I just think they'll play like Eibar and teams like that who aren't going to give them too much fuss, to be honest.
Like that. Just to add as well, Moreno won't be able to play, so I'm guessing Nico will keep his spot, won't he?
Yeah. So Nick Hempel's put, he says Nuno spoke about Moreno. It was nothing serious, playing Wednesday, but not today. Was setting up for Villa when he can't play, which is fair enough. It's similar to James Ward-Prowse when he didn't play against Palace, I think it was, before we played West Ham or Leicester or something like that. I can't remember. So yeah, it makes sense in that respect. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. It's always a good game against Villa. Their fans always come and bring the noise, and I prefer us to play a team that are normally better than us on paper, you'd say. Villa are. I just think we set up to be more competitive, and I prefer us to play against them sort of side rather than teams that we're expecting to beat, because I just think there's a little bit less pressure on us and the shackles come off a little bit more, I think. And yeah, we'll be up for it. But Reece, can I get a score prediction off you?
Score prediction. I'll go for 2-1 to Forest, mate.
Oh, Lee.
I was going to say exactly the same. Yeah, I'm going to be boring and go with the same. I think it will be 2-1 to Forest. I think I'll give you a score as well. I think Hudson-Odoi is going to score. Hudson-Odoi is going to score.
I will stick my neck on the line and be hypocritical as well, but it wouldn't surprise me if we actually stop them scoring.
Yeah. I'm going to go 1-0. I actually think it'll be a really tight game. I just think like maybe Villa will feel the effects from midweek, depending on what sort of team they'll put out. I know they can rotate a few players, but I know they've had injury worries and stuff before. I think if they beat Leipzig, they're pretty much qualified then for the next round. So yeah, I think it'll be a good game. But I'm going to slender 1-goal win to 0. I think we'll just kind of keep them out somehow and another clean sheet to add to the record.
I tell you what, I am looking forward to a 5:30 game in December. That will be. I just think that the City Ground's always better under the lights anyway. I just think it's a really good time slot that they've picked for that fixture.
Yeah,
it's in for me because I've got to catch a flight next day at 6 a.m. So from Stansted, so it's good for me. It's pretty typical. I was just looking at the Champions League and obviously this format. I mean, Villa are 9th, so they're a spot outside the automatic qualification. Leipzig haven't got even a point from 5 games, so they're probably, you'd say, near enough out of it. Well, then again, they still need to win, won't they, and try and get in them playoffs. So yeah, we'll have to kind of see. They won 2-0 yesterday, Leipzig, against Holstein Kiel. Just looking there.
Looking at the form, guys, for European football. Anyway,
Bundesliga roundup.
Yeah.
Is there anything more to add, guys? Lee, anything else you want to say?
No, don't think so. Happy birthday to Chris.
How was the line at Kelly Miners?
Oh, the weather was awful, dreadful, ruined the game.
Did you have a flag malfunction like they did in the Man United Forest game?
No flag malfunction. The ref kept. He obviously had a buzzer on his arm. He kept, because it was windy. He kept missing the flags and the buzzers. So let's have a quiet word with him in the dressing room. But
you say you would have got things. You're saying if it was sunny, you'd have got free flowing football at Gedlin Mine as well.
Well, Gedlin are doing quite well. They are, I think, they're 4th or 5th. Gedlin did win 2-1 yesterday, but having done both of those sides before, they do like to try and get the ball down and play. But obviously, yesterday the pitch was awful. I mean, I said to the secretary when we got there, "You're that desperate to play." Because it was awful. It was so cold. It was
all the hot dogs would have gone to waste if you'd not.
True, yeah. But nice club is Gedlin Mine as well. And there was a big reaction when Milenkovic scored. Obviously, I was still in the clubhouse with the hospitality and that. So yeah, some good people running that football club.
Lovely, good plug for Gedlin Mine as well. Fair local football. Reece, anything else to add?
No, mate, just the competition, isn't it, today? And then I think we're done.
Of course, yes, we have been running a competition. You've got a little wheel.
Yeah, so I'm going to put
thank you everyone who's entered into our.
You'll be able to see it's not the best, but everyone's names on there. I think there's 32 names there is. So I've done a trial run.
On there, Reece.
Say again.
Did I just see your name on there?
No, you didn't. I told Emma she can't enter it because that'd be a bit dubious, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, the person who's done it's misses had won £50 club shop voucher. So
we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that now.
I've done a trial run, so I'm not going to tell you come up in it. But so what we're going to do, we're going to go from 3rd up to the top prize.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So 3rd is obviously this. So we've got a signed photo of Lee Wood here, and I've got a couple of Forest stickers to add in as well. I'll put them in. So put that to one side. So this is for 3rd prize. So here we go. Here goes nothing.
Thank you very much for everyone who entered.
Yeah, 32 people.
Subscribe to the YouTube. We're on now 1.4 thousand, 1,400 people.
3rd is Kian NFFC.
Oh, Kian getting a nice signed photo of Lee Wood. So
put that down to.
If Kean can get in touch with us, DM us or we'll DM you.
I've seen the
sort
post, mate. I wrote down everyone on the post, so I'll message them. So this is for so second prize is for Christian's book, which is obviously advertised at the bottom. So Christian's giving away a free copy of that. So here we go again. Screen.
It's a good book as well so far. It's a great read.
very good
Nostalgia to its best, isn't it? You were saying it the other day, weren't you, Lee?
Tom Newton, you've got a free copy of Christian's book. I'm sure he'll sign it as a winner like me, Tom, of the.
I'm a bit disappointed that Tom's not bought it already. Actually, to be honest,
he might have done, but he'll sign it as winners of the Trent Nab quiz. I can sign it as well, Tom, if you want. And then so this is for first prize, £50 club shop voucher. So this is the one. So here we go again.
Shirts are on sale at the minute as well, aren't they? So this voucher will be nice to maybe get the limited edition blue shirt or something.
The winner of that is Sam Lucas. So well done to him. So there you're free. So Kean and FSC third with the Lee Wood signed photo and the stickers. Tom Newton second with the book, and Sam Lucas top prize £50 club shop voucher. So yeah, well done to all them.
So yeah, thank you very much for everyone entering. Thank you very much for the support, obviously, for the year. We'll do our Spotify wraps at some point. I'm sure that will probably some photos will come out of that as well at some point in the next few days, or maybe today or something. But no, thank you very much for joining us on this morning's pod. Great to obviously end the week with a win after obviously losing last week in the midweek, to City. We'll see you all at the Trent Nav hopefully for a quiz, a hello, a beer, or Coke, or whatever you tipple.
Not that type.
Not that type. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see you all next week. We'll see you hopefully for a preview of some sort for the Villa game in midweek as well. But until then, we end the weekend in fifth, Reece. So I'm sure you'll be putting up a post of like Champions League music or something on the
I think is it to seventh? I think it's the lowest we can go after today's games.
If they go ahead.
Tottenham play Chelsea, don't they? So they can't benefit.
Yeah, Fulham and Brighton, I think, can go above us. That's it. So
I'm hoping for the end of the weekend. I'm hoping for a furious handshake Tottenham v Chelsea, Tuchel and Conte.
End of the day, it's a bit of tongue in cheek to keep putting up these gifts of Europa League and Champions League and Conference League, but you've got to enjoy it, haven't you? Why it lasts. So yeah,
you can.
Absolutely.
Well, I really like the new gif of Nuno with this thumbs up to the camera that Forest have put up. I think it was from the post match. So yeah, that can also go up as well. So yeah, but anyway, enjoy your weekends, guys. We'll see you next time. Come on, you Reds.